Hi, my name is Miranda Streeter, and I'm here to talk about, our general education speaking assessment. And we're doing ours on Washington's rules of civility and decent behavior. Of course, you already know the five. We're supposed to pick five rules, and well, I picked five rules. And my first rule is rule number one, where it's stated that every action done in company ought to be with some sign of respect to those that are present, with the translated meaning that treat everyone with respect. In general communication, it's a two-way line. Someone sending a message and somebody receiving a message. So in order to send and receive, some level of listening has to be done. So I'm gonna respect you because you're talking to me by listening, and when vice versa. Rule number three, I believe, go with rule number one as well, with respect. Rule number three says to show nothing to your friend that may affright him. Being considerate of others and do not embarrass others. So, like I said, with respect, I'm not going to embarrass you, but I'm gonna be considerate of you by respecting you and showing you respect, and vice versa of giving respect as well. Rule number 48, wherein you reprove another, be unblameable yourself. For example, is more prevalent than precepts. Translation: if you criticize someone else of something, make sure you are not guilty of it yourself. Action speaks louder than words. Of course, I think of the old saying, "The pot calling the kettle black." Like I said, that in it talks about it in chapter 4 about how self-serving bias, where we tend to judge others more harshly than we do ourselves. We could do that same thing, but we don't look at it the same way. But we are judging them the same way. So basically, don't be one way with somebody else, and you do the same thing, and you're another way. Rule number rule number 56. It says to associate yourself with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Associate with good people, and it is better to be alone than in bad company. We know that it talks about a little bit in chapter 3 and chapter 4, especially about common tendencies and perceptions. We know that most of the time there are stereotypes made, and that's from the first impression. They say your first impression is everything. So if you walk through the door, whatever happens that first time somebody see you, that's the thing that they think about all the time. Um, Even though it's just like somebody else's presumptions is based on your presentation. Rule number 68, it says, "Go not thither where you know not, whether you shall not be welcome or not. Give not advice without being asked, and when desired, do it briefly. Do not go where you are not wanted. Do not give unasked for advice." Um, like I say, chapter 7 discusses how it actually states that there are times when the best response is to say nothing. Sometimes people come to us and want to talk to us. Sometimes it's just meant for us to listen because they just want to vent. They might not want the answer. They might want to figure it out themselves. With all these rules, it is very important for it to be maintained because I feel like these rules contain good morals or manners, and over time, many things may be lost from generation to generation, but there are some things that are always continued throughout our generation, and I think this is one that needs to be continued. These values and these morals can help our society become better and more considerate of others. Like we're tending to ignore what we would call our neighbor, and we just walk along the road, and somebody it's not as friendly as one would say as maybe 50 years ago, where if I did this, and it's like a tit for tat, but just genuinely doing it. So I think that these rules should be thought about and really put into practice. And this is my presentation, and thank you very much. My name is Miranda Streeter. Have a good night.